Hi, and welcome to Beyond Fear to Freedom podcast. I'm Debbie G, and this is my little friend, Anna. We were making fun of that because she's way shorter than I am, so we had to boost her chair up, so she's like in a high chair. So she's like, you can say hello to my little friend. I'm like, I'm going to say that. Hello, my little friend.
Hello.
Well, welcome to Beyond Fear to Freedom podcast. Today is Testimony Tuesday, and our guest today is my dear, I call her my daughter, Anna Morales, who I love and I adore. And the reason we're doing this is to encourage you in your walk and your journey, to let you know that you do not travel alone. We'd love for you to participate in our BFF Friday nights, but today it's just about sharing about what God has done in your life and kind of hearing a little bit about Anna. So Anna.
Yes.
Anna.
Yes.
What was life growing up as a kid?
It wasn't a bad childhood. I was your typical kid, getting into things, pushing limits with the parents, but never crossed that line of being so bad that they didn't know what to do with me.
Well, that's
but
good.
It was a good childhood.
So your parents were healthy adults?
Yeah.
They didn't have any addictive behaviors? They were just like
I mean, there was alcoholism, but they worked on that. My mom was an alcoholic really bad, and she put herself in a inpatient rehab, and then she got out and stayed clean for a long time, no drinking.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that was about the only thing that was wrong, but other than that, there was plenty of love to go around.
I'm excited to hear that there were plenty of love, because oftentimes when we're raised in an addictive home, one of the things that you said, it was only alcoholism. Well, listen, only alcoholism or only pornography or only spending can really be detrimental to the upbringing of children and yourself. I mean, I think that, for your mom, for her life, giving up the drink was really a beneficial thing. I'm sure she did it for the kids.
Yeah, she did it for the family.
She did it for the family. Yeah. But to do it for yourself, I think, is a good reason as well. Okay, so when you and I met, you were in camp.
Yeah.
She was in called Perryville Camp.
Yes.
But how did you end up getting there? What happened?
Well, there was a traumatic accident. My mom and dad were involved in a car accident. My dad passed away instantly, and my mom was rushed to the hospital for emergency surgeries.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's always sucks when I hear this story.
Yeah. And after that, life was never the same.
Because you were daddy's little girl.
Yes, to the fullest.
Right.
Yes.
And even today, I can see how you miss him and cherish him. One of the things that I know was very difficult for you is that while your mom was dealing with all these surgeries, you and your brother had to pretend that your dad was still alive.
Yes.
And how awful that must have been for you guys. What did that do to you?
I didn't even know how to handle that. I honestly don't know, because we didn't know what to expect of my mom's behavior, her emotional state. She was not going to be the same woman that we knew her as kids. Her life was completely turned upside down.
As well as yours.
Yeah.
And I just think that, now, because you and I known each other for many, many years, like 13 years, that you saying it this time, it's like, when we have to pretend, especially at a young age. How old were you when your dad passed?
I had to be like 18 or 19.
So, still at that time, we have to pretend. We have to fake life. We have to make it seem like everything's okay when it's really like falling apart.
Yeah.
And it teaches us to like lock our feelings inside and act like everything's fine when it's not. And I think that is really, that's a scary place to be. I mean, I understand, but it's still very, very scary. So what happened that brought you to Perryville?
I got involved with drugs. Started using meth to numb the pain, to be just away from family.
Why did you want to be away from family?
Because I didn't know how to deal with what I was going through.
Okay.
Didn't know how to handle my mom. Got scared. and did that. Just went down the wrong path.
Yeah, it's amazing when we're not prepared to handle the things that life throws at us.
Yeah.
And I think, what happened to you, and it was just a setup for destruction. That if we are in a community that can help us or see that we need help. I know when my brother committed suicide, I was going down the wrong way as well, terribly. But God had put a community around me. I was in my 30s, I think, when that happened, or 20s. I was somewhere around there. But He had put a community around me that I wasn't a Christian. I was far from being a Christian. But it was like, you need help. You need help. And they kind of coerced me to go get help. There was no one to help guide you into getting help.
Not really. My family did try to, mention counseling and everything, but we were a family of nobody's gonna know the pain that I'm feeling. So it kind of was, I don't want to say our fault, but we didn't know how to bring that out. We didn't want to talk to counselors because we didn't think it was gonna help. Nobody understood what we were going through.
Yeah, and that's tough, man.
Yeah, so
but the truth of the matter is that you're not alone, and there is somebody who understands. And this is the weirdest thing, because I know that when we were hooking you up with your mentor for Alongside, I have to just share this because this is the craziest story ever. So I always prayed, because I was the women's ministry director when you came into Alongside.
Yes.
And so I always prayed about your mentors. I didn't just, okay, that's the next person. No, I always prayed. And God kept bringing the same woman before. And I'm thinking, they have nothing in common. I'm really struggling with this person that you keep bringing. She was totally opposite of you. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. But the Lord would not let me not make her your mentor. Only to come to find out, and I got goosebumps now, is she suffered the very same kind of trauma losing a parent that you did.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's crazy.
Right?
What a beautiful way for God to let you know that He sees you, I think. So you did your time. Now, your son was how old when you went to prison?
For the last time I left him with my mom when he was really young.
Like how young?
He was not even a year old yet.
So that you could do crazy?
So I could go be crazy, because my mom told me, if you want to do that, continue doing that, you will leave the baby here and you go do it. And I did, because I was stuck in that. And so, yeah, he was young when I left him.
Yeah, so you didn't really even know who you really were. Yeah. And so you get out of prison, and through the goodness of God, really, and because you were abiding in the Lord, it was so funny. It was the first time I saw that you were really codependent.
Oh, yeah.
Was at Alongside, and
yeah,
that was pretty funny too. We have some very hilarious stories. So if you ever want to go out and have lunch and invite us to lunch, we'd love to sit to you and tell you about these stories. But anyways, moving on. The Lord reconciled you to your son and your family, which we thought would never. Well, we were told was never going to happen.
Right.
But God was good, and you were reconciled. And after some time, God restored your son really to you.
Yes.
Which was a CPS miracle, because you were never supposed to see your son again.
There was a case opened against me, and it was my mom's way of trying to keep him from me. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting to hear if anything was going to happen with this case. Nothing came about it, and I assumed that the charges or the case was closed or dropped, because no caseworker, nobody came to talk to me about it.
Yeah, well, I remember us making that phone call.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no case here. It's like, excuse me. And so you are now reconciled with your son, and you've been out for how long?
I've been out for at least 13 years.
So you've been out of prison for 13 years. You have raised your son. He is how old now?
21.
21. So which is so awesome. He's a beautiful boy, and we just love him so much. But when did you come to this place where you recognized that you needed Jesus?
This last time that I had gotten arrested and given 4 years, because I did a total of 6 years. I was off and on in the system. So this last time I got 4 years, and it was for my good. That's when I realized that Jesus had his hand from that moment that I got arrested until I got sentenced, because he knew I needed to sit down and get right.
And I would say with you saying that, and this is what I said to a lot of the ladies, he loves you enough to put you in a place where you have to sit and think.
Yeah.
And sometimes he needs to put us in those places where he takes everything away from us, everybody away from us, so that we can be alone with him in our head, in our heart,
Yeah.
so that he can do some good stuff in us. And so he touched your life. We've seen that and experienced that. And you graduated alongside.
Yeah.
And you've done great. You're a hard worker. You're maintaining a home and your son. And so tell me what BFF means to you and what community means for you.
Oh, man. Well, it gives me the opportunity to share my story, to help those women that are struggling, not just where I've been, but with being a single mom. Because it wasn't easy for me by myself. That's why community is awesome. Because when I got reconciled to my son, I was still in alongside, but I had the group of sisters, you know, taking me and my son in and loving on us, and that helped out a lot. And for me, just watching women grow in the Lord, and that's and just the community. It's a family. It's more than just friends and acquaintances and hurting people. It's a family. We don't judge for why you're there. We don't judge why you do what you do. We try to help you. We try to understand you. We try to give you a way to get that out. Because I did step away from community for a minute, and things were not going right. I was struggling again. Didn't relapse, nothing, just wanted to do things on my own terms. And now I'm back.
And we're so glad that she's back. We're the kind of community that says we see what you're doing. We wish you wouldn't do what you're doing. That's not what God intended you to be doing. So you go do you, and we're going to be here waiting for you and praying for you to get your head right, child. And then come on back here.
Right.
And we don't leave you alone. I mean, I think that during that time of you stepping away, you knew that we were always here.
Well, especially, I mean, you and I have that bond, and you know when something's going wrong. My sisters, they know when something's going wrong. And they'll call me out on it in a loving way, and not, and that's what we need.
And that's what we do need. We need people who love us enough to call us out and love us through our garbage.
Yeah.
And I think that's what BFF does. I think I know that's what we do. And now that you're in this place where she's also a table leader, I got all my table leaders coming here because it's an extraordinary story. You were a table leader when you first started with me,
yes,
and then you also ministered at Hope Women's Center.
Yes.
Then you went and did you for a while,
Yep.
And now you're back,
Yeah.
and at a wonderful time. And now you're a table leader yet once again, and there is this glow about you. There's this vibrancy about you that was missing when you were doing you.
Yeah.
And it's back now, and it's back in a beautiful way. And I'm so excited that you're back here. So just tell me, so we can just be really honest here. What kind of things do you still struggle with? I mean, God has done all these wonderful things for you, but what are you still struggling with? How to make the perfect tortilla?
Yeah, pretty much. No.
No. What are you still struggling with?
Learning to just go ahead and let go of control. And that's what happened. That's what I realized when I stepped away. I was trying to control too many situations, including with my son, mine's and my son's relationship. I was trying to hold on because I'm his mom. I have the right to hold on to tell him what to do. I couldn't. That's one thing God showed me, and that's another thing that I think that's why you see that glow, is because I'm learning to just let go and let God.
Yes, there's a peace, right?
Right, yeah, there's a piece about not trying to control everything, and I'm glad I'm doing it with him, with my son, because he's starting to see things that way, and it's making it easier for him to open up. And I'm still learning that. I still want to hold on to things. I still want to try to control certain situations.
So proud of her.
but I can't. And he has to grow as a young man. He has to grow. And all I can do as a mother is listen,
and
be there
encourage
for
that
him,
growth.
and let him know, hey, you got this way, you got that way. Think about it. You make the choice. I'm not going to make it for you.
Amen. I'm so proud of you with that because, I think when we lose something that's precious, which was your boy, and now the Lord has given him back to you, I think our tendency is to just hold on so that nothing bad happens.
I got to share with you something real quick. Yesterday, okay, and I've been wanting this forever, and I know that this is something that I couldn't have control over either. We were talking, him and I, and he was talking about faith. He was telling me, he was talking about his job and things that he does and where he wants to go, because he's still finding out his purpose, who he is. And because I've told him, just take your time with that. I still don't know that. And I'm just, whatever. Well, he told me, he goes, yeah, I have my faith, Mom. I have a relationship with Jesus. I said, all right, son.
Oh,
baby
my
steps.
goodness. Oh,
Baby
my goodness.
steps.
And we have, because I have been blessed. I've known you and your boy since he was 8. He's 21 now.
Yeah.
So I've watched this whole progression. I've seen the struggles. I've witnessed all that. I got goosebumps like crazy. Oh my gosh. And we don't believe in hammering down our faith. We talk about our faith, we live out our faith, and we allow our children to experience that. Now, Frankie comes into our community. I mean, he knows we love him. He's welcome in here. We have fun.
Yeah.
But for him to say that to you,
that's something I've been waiting to hear
for a long time.
I didn't know if anything was happening, and that's another control issue that I had to let go of. Let go and let Jesus work in his heart. And I'm just doing me. And I guess that's what he sees.
But doing you as a Christian woman.
Yeah. No, with God on my side, it's just, there's no other way.
There is no other way. I love that you ended this with it. There is no other way than Jesus. There are, but it doesn't usually turn out so good. Right. Because the truth of the matter is one day we're going to be standing before our Creator. And I think that when he asks you, how did you raise the gift that I gave you, which would be your son, you can say, I did the very best I could in you, because now he's coming into his faith walk. I think that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So thank you, my love, for sharing your testimony with us. We have tons of stories. We could spend a lot of time talking, because there are some crazy, awesome things that God has done in your life and through you. I mean, there's, you have touched some people so much in their lives that you have really influenced their walk and helped so many people out of, the deep garbage that they were in to see value. So if you're looking for that kind of community that knows that you are valued, that can show you that you are loved, BFF is that community. We'd love for you to join us. Thank you so much for being so open and honest and transparent. I just love you to death. I just love this person to death. Anyways, we'd love to see you at BFF Friday nights. Doors open at 5:30 here at First Christian Church with eats until 6 p.m. And at 6:15, the party's going. If you can't join us live in person, go check us out on Facebook. We have a subscribe tribe that you can sign up, and you can watch us from anywhere you at. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you again, Anna.
You're welcome.
And we'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining us for Testimony Tuesday.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.